Hi there, and welcome to the Everything Accordion podcast, a podcast where we dive deep into the world of the accordion, its music, its history, and the people who bring it to life. I am your host, Gennady Rotary. On this show, you will hear inspiring interviews and conversations with musicians, composers, educators from all over the world. Whether you're passionate about the accordion or are just curious to know more about this amazing instrument, you're in the right place. So make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell. You can also support the podcast on Patreon, as well as join the Discord community or share these episodes with your friends. Before we dive into today's episode, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you're informed and notified when a new episode comes out. Please review and rate the podcast wherever you're listening to it, whether it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or whatever platform you're listening on. And this show is also available on YouTube as video. It is a pleasure for me to have you on this journey. Without further ado, let's jump into today's episode. So, welcome everyone to a new episode of the Everything Accordion podcast. I took a relatively small break between the episodes, but I'm super happy to be back and super excited to have a guest who I knew lived in the same country where I currently reside, in Austria, but he lives on the other side of Austria, in Vienna or near to Vienna. And this episode is brought to you by Dr. Herbert Scheibenreif, who is a longtime friend and supporter of the podcast. And today I'm really happy and really excited to get to know a colleague, an accordionist, a wonderful artist, a very active performer and teacher. And without further ado, Nikola Djoric, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, dear Gennady. Thank you for inviting me. It's really pleasure to be on your podcast. Thank you.
The pleasure is all mine. And to kick off this conversation, do you remember the first time that you kind of saw an accordion or tried to play an accordion or heard an accordion?
Yes, I remember it. We had it at home because my mom played accordion and her instrument was at home, and she was in love with accordion for a long time, but she didn't get the opportunity to study accordion. She was in the music school, and it went really well. She won some prizes. It was in the time of Yugoslavia. So it was a big country with a huge accordion tradition and really huge competitions. And today, now, there is still the same competition that she won. It is in Pula in Croatia. And interesting that she was in the same category with Professor Vojkan Vasovic from Kragujevac, the famous accordion professor. So we had it at home. It was a little accordion from Hona in the red color with piano buttons, and this was my first contact with accordion. For me, it was of course too big. I think 96 bases it had. But I had a huge interest to play it, to try to play it, and mom helps me. So this is the first family contact with accordion.
Very nice. I didn't mention in the beginning, presenting you, that you are from Serbia. For the people who don't know about it, you have been living for how many years now? You told me
20
before.
years. I'm 20 years in Austria.
So it's kind of like your second home, almost first home, in a way.
Yes. I live longer in Austria than in Serbia. I came here with 15,
Mm-hmm.
I think. Yes. Yeah, the
Yeah,
second or the first home. Yeah. And you also, yeah? You're a long time in
well,
Austria.
no, I've been living in Austria for 6 years now, but
Yeah.
I'm almost on the threshold between the amount of years I lived in Moldova and the amount of years I lived abroad. So it's, I think, 16 years that I've lived in my home country and Yeah, already more than 16 years that I've been living between Italy, like in Western Europe in general. But yeah, no, it's very interesting this passing on of an instrument, of a tradition, right? Because many times we have this thing that parents wanted to do something when they were young, they didn't manage it, and they want their kids to do that. So it's kind of a classic in that sense. But no, it's really cool also when this continues and develops into a profession. And what made you choose Austria to come and study here and work here and live here?
Yes. Well, it was a really interesting and difficult time for Serbia. I have to go back just a few steps to be clear with the story. I started accordion in the music school in Serbia with I think I was 5 or 6 years old, but I took the lessons even before with one teacher from Italy. That is really interesting. Her name is Alida Rodic. She married one Serbian, and she lived in the same town like we are in Bor,
Hmm.
and she was teaching there in the music school. So that was my first teacher, and as I said, I played the piano accordion like my mom did.
Hmm.
But in the middle school and in Serbian, it's the music school system is you have 6 years of the early music school, and then you change to the music middle school till this is until your matura, the first upgrade. And then I changed my instrument to bayan, and I changed also a teacher, and the second teacher was actually from Ukraine. Her
Hmm.
name is Svetlana Kravchenko, and it's also interesting that she came from Ukraine, actually from Moscow, because she was studying in Moscow in the same time with again Professor Vojin Vasovic, and she came with him together to Serbia, and somehow the life changed, and she stayed in Serbia and got a place in the music gymnasium. I don't know how is it on the
Yeah,
English
gymnasium.
gymnasium, yeah. And I took the lessons, and I got in her class, and I changed the instrument, and then it went really everything pretty well. But I needed a new instrument,
Hmm.
a bigger one, and 1999 there was a war in Yugoslavia
Hmm.
or in Serbia, and the town where we were living was 2 times attacked with bombs, and everything was ruined. And of course, my parents lost their jobs. I didn't tell you that my father is actually a singer. He's singing a Serbian folks music, and in Serbia, this is a kind of job that you are really doing from Monday till Sunday, because there is a long tradition of the folks music, and he did it really professionally with recordings with famous accordionists in Serbia. And after a war, there was no possibilities for singing, for playing, and my mom was working in a bank. Bank was closed, so we had a really tough situation at home, and I needed immediately a new instrument, a bigger one with buttons, a bayan. And that was the time that my father made the decision to go to the Austria
Hmm.
to try to get a job here, to sing, to try to sing here in Vienna, because there is a huge community from Yugoslavia, from Serbia, and people are listening and love this music also here. So he came first, and the plan was to stay only 1 or 2 years, to buy me
Hmm.
accordion, and to try to get the family on the foot, and to come back. But in the second year, he was singing, and somebody told him that one young teacher opened the accordion class in Vienna Conservatorium, and that was the Gustav Mahler Conservatorium in Vienna. And
Hmm.
this professor, this young teacher, was Jovica Djordjevic. And Jovica
Hmm.
Djordjevic was my favorite accordion player. I went to the famous summer school in Kragujevac. You know, of course, that Kragujevac is the center of the accordion in
Of
Serbia,
course.
and every competitions and master classes and everything is happening there. So in one summer, I went there to have lessons with Yuri Shishkin and with Bruno Morris and with great accordion players. But there I met some other students, and there was one accordion student that had a recordings from Jovica Djordjevic, because this is the time that we didn't had any CDs, any internet, so
Sure.
everything was on the tapes, and
Mhm.
he got that tape and on the Walkman, and he was going everywhere and showing everybody this recording of Jovica, and I heard that, and I was so impressed of that impossible kind of articulation of speed that was for a young accordion player really something special. So when I heard from my father that the Jovica opened the class, accordion class in Vienna, I told him immediately, I want to go to him. I want to Jovica. I want to Jovica. And my teacher Svetlana supported me, and this was the break point for the whole family, because I came here. I did an exam, and I made it with 15 to start my studies with Jovica. And it was
Mhm.
also possible because I was 2 years before in the music school. I started really early with the lessons, and I was 2 years before the generation. I made every exams 2 years before, so I could make it with 15 to come at his class to start studying in conservatorium. And this was the break point. The next years we have a little problems with the standard problems with the visums, which everyone knows coming from our countries. But we made it, and after 2 years, the whole family was in Vienna, and we were really glad to make it happen.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. That's really quite a story. Also because, sometimes, of course, these are the things that you don't forget because you lived through them. Uh, for me, coming from a relatively peaceful, and hopefully that remains the same, peaceful country, I had, you know, kind of choices whether to study there, go somewhere, and I could choose more or less freely what I wanted to do with my life and my career. In your case, of course, because of the situation, you were forced to go outside. But it's funny how these things happen sometimes. They seem like coincidences, but they're not really coincidences, right? You ended up in Vienna in the class of a accordionist that you preferred, that you really loved how he played,
Yeah.
and all of these things just happened. And also, with 15 years old, to get admitted inside a conservatory is not something that's normal, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's really, it's all the time interesting for me to hear the different life stories, of people coming, especially, like when you're saying countries from Eastern Europe, because for those who never needed a visa to go anywhere, of course, it's much easier. Okay, I'm going to Italy, I'm going to Germany, I'm going to go to Finland, and just register there and say that I'm there. But
Yeah.
for someone who needs to stay in a line, in a queue for hours just to get the documents in and then wait for the reply, and then you don't know. Yeah, you made me jump back in time and remember all of these times that are kind of melancholic, but I don't miss them. I really don't, because it's so much better to be free to move around, and especially as a musician, right? Doing
Yes.
what you love and having many more possibilities of doing that.
Yeah.
Cool. So 2005, you're in Vienna, you're studying, and after your studies, did you fall in love with Austria, Austrian culture, or was there something else that made you think, you know what, I'm gonna stay here?
uh, Well, I don't know. It was not the love on the first view, so to say. And I was happy for being there with accordion, and I was really occupied with accordion because Jovica was such a teacher that was. only concentrated for the competitions and only on the high level. And it was good. It was really good like that. But first time to feel Vienna, it was many years after it because I needed to learn German. At first, I didn't had any German in the school in Serbia, and to be finished with the studies. And I think I started to like Vienna when I changed also my school because I studied with Jovica for 4 years together, and then I changed to the Vienna State Conservatorium to the class of Grzegorz Stopa.
Mhm.
And Conservatorium Wien is in the center of Vienna, maybe 200 meters from Vienna State's Opera and 100 meters from Stephansdom, and you're really in the city center. And I spent next 6 years there studying bachelor and master. And this was the time that I really liked Vienna. I remember going to the lessons in winter with my accordion and hearing music on my headphones. I loved to hear. It was from the Albanberg Quartet, a recording of Ravel string quartet. So
Mm.
this kind of smell of winter in Vienna with Ravel music with string quartet somehow stayed really deep in my remember in my emotion in my heart, and I think that was the time that I felt in love with Vienna. And of course, the first concert that I heard in Vienna Musikverein, and after it Vienna Concerthaus and every concert houses, and that I slowly saw the history that is still living in Vienna, the Mozart house and the Beethoven and the Schubert. And I think it was something that started slowly but deeply. And now I'm really in love with Vienna and with this country. But after 18 years in Vienna, we decided to move in other city near Vienna, in Stockerau, when we're now living, but it's about half an hour with the car from Vienna, because now it's a little bit different situation. I'm family occupied. I mean, I'm father. I have a little daughter, and my wife is playing guitar. So we decided to live in a little bit smaller city because of other qualities for the family that you cannot really get in a huge town like Vienna. But yes, I felt in love with this city because of music history, and because of this special flair that the city had.
Yeah, I think, the first time I came to Vienna, I think I was maybe 20, and I just came for a visit to visit a friend of mine, a
Mm,
very dear friend. He was there on a year abroad from university, and, heard about Vienna. It was very nice city, very nice architecture. But
mm,
as you mentioned, I really started to feel it some years later when I started visiting it also for the musical aspects and kind of trying to live that life. But as you say, now with new family obligations, of course, a big city has its own disadvantages. Advantages from one side with artistic life, disadvantages on the other side. Uh, it's just, yeah, it's really, really a lot happening, and it can be overwhelming, I guess.
for
But
sure.
yeah, let's talk about your artistic work. You are someone who recorded some albums. I think some years ago, was it Bach and Piazzolla album with an orchestra? Then you also recorded some solo music. Let's talk about a bit about your latest one, because I see that you're playing a lot with orchestras, and we will reach one of the points that I'm interested in, which is, of course, the new premiere happening at the end of
Hmm.
September. So, yeah, let's talk about your
Hmm.
recordings. How was this particular project born, and what other projects are you working on actively? Like, what's in your heart?
Thank you. Well, the last project that you mentioned, that was the Bach and Piazzolla project. And this was the second project in cooperation with the label Berlin Classics. We started our cooperation with the first solo album with the music from Mussorgsky and Tchaikovsky. The name of the album is Pictures, and I recorded the pictures of an exhibition from Mussorgsky and the album for the youth. from Tchaikovsky. It was inspired by the pictures and every kind of informations on the story about this album is, of course, on the album. And I'm happy that the podcast is going on the Spotify because all of the albums are also possible to hear on Spotify. And the second project was 2 years after it. We recorded Bach and Piazzolla with one beautiful chamber orchestra from Mannheim Kammer Orchestra. This is one orchestra that is specialized for the old music, and they have really one wonderful sound. They don't have their own conductor. They play
Hmm.
alone, and the concertmaster is actually conducting everything and leading. And it was actually the perfect situations for the concerts from Bach. I chose to record two piano concerts from him in D minor and in G. And this is the almost the same structure like famous Aconcagua Bandoneon concerto from Piazzolla. In Piazzolla, we needed only harp, piano, and two percussion players to have the complete orchestra because it was written for the small orchestra as Piazzolla wrote it. And yes, also it was really nice collaboration with them. We got lucky to record it together with the SWR. This is the famous radio in Germany. So they came and recorded it. We had a really nice sessions there and also concerts after the recording. This was a really beautiful. And when you ask about my artistic goals or ideas, I try to keep the music that I play in original. It is of course possible to make arrangements on accordion, and something, it's not new, it's almost usual, but I'm looking somehow to be on that line because deeply in my heart I feel it, that it is the right way for me. And the Tchaikovsky and Mussorgsky album, I recorded it on the original score. It was without any adaptations or, and the same is with the Bach, and the same is, of course, with Piazzolla. This is normally possible on accordion to play one to one. But before these two albums, I recorded two CDs for one Vienna label, and the first one was my accordion album that I played with the accordion pieces, but also with the pieces for piano, for cembalo, the standard classic repertoire for accordion. It was with Mozart sonata in A minor, and with three Scarlatti sonatas, with Cesar Frank pastorale for organ, and so. And the second album for that label, I recorded with Anna Topalovic. And I think you played also one concert with Anna Topalovic, if I remember well, in Romania. It was before maybe 7 years ago or maybe more, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I
But
think it was
I
more. It was
more?
2015 or 16,
Yeah.
something like that, almost 10
And
years.
that was the first time that I heard about you. And Anna showed me the recording after it, and I was really impressed. I remember
Thanks.
you played Gubaidulina. You played Gubaidulina together in Croce, and it was really good. I remember that Anna didn't had enough time to practice it. It was a short-term concept, but she did it really well, and she was really excited about it. I mean, we played together for I'm not sure now 3, 4, maybe 5 years. I'm not sure to say, but we didn't play Gubaidulina. This was not in our program, so she was really excited about that, and I heard the recordings after it, and I was really impressed. And I have to tell you, I wanted to play it after it. I didn't play it with Anna, but some years after it, I got a chance and I played it, and it's really difficult piece. It's not something that you can learn really easily and in short time. So quality, really quality.
Thanks. Yeah, no, I remember that concert. I never, before that, I think I played maybe the Profundis once, but I never played in Croce. And it was a special request by the festival in Romania, in Craiova. They
Mhm.
wanted, um, yeah, they wanted the Profundis, and they also wanted in Croce. So Anna jumped
Yeah.
in and played the part, and I remember it was a very
Yeah.
intense
Yeah.
feeling of
Yeah.
playing that. So yeah, no, thanks for your compliment.
Yes, and she was also really happy after it. She told me, I can remember it.
It was a very intense like moment on stage and dialogue,
Yeah.
and yeah, somehow it just
Yeah.
it just worked.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
and you described some projects for the albums that you did with they're quite distinct, right? Because one is more, let's say, a sort of, let's call it quote unquote standard recital repertoire for accordion. Then you did the pictures album, which is a very nice concept. And I'm very curious also to talk to you about when you say you play original without adapting, what you mean by adapting. And then it's very interesting what you said about Bach and Piazzolla, because Piazzolla was someone who really wanted to play on the bandoneon, the chorales by Bach, and wanted to transcribe the works. So at the first glance, one might think, what does Bach have to do with, Tango Nuevo? But when you think about it, and when you look also at the structure and the inspiration that Piazzolla had, basically, yeah, it makes a lot of sense to combine these two. So let's go back to my question about adaptations. What do you mean by adapting? Because in some way, unless you're playing it on a cembalo, on a harpsichord, we are kind of adapting in a way. So what do you mean when you say you play the original on the accordion?
Yes, I mean only about the changes of the score. For me, adaptations start when you change something in the score. It means also changing the left and the right hand, changing the octaves, but also to maybe to take something away because it's complicated to play, or maybe something to made it possible on accordion because it's not everything really possible. So that is what I mean without adaptation. That the score
Mm.
is remaining 100% like it is, without changing the score. This was the
So it's a
idea.
sort of we could call it quote unquote translation of the score
Translation.
to
Yes.
to the accordion. Um,
Yes.
I think I know what you mean. When I hear, for example, sometimes I think I've heard, I don't remember who was playing, amazing recording, amazing playing of the Chacona by Bach. At one point, I hear bellow shake in the middle of the recording. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
that's an interesting addition, but maybe it's my taste, maybe it's my upbringing as a student, maybe it's the people who I heard and studied with. Somehow, a bellow shake inside a Bach piece, for me, it's out of place.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. Well, a shake, I could imagine, like if you connected it with a string instrument, and when
Yes.
they are changing a bows to play some 16 notes, or maybe faster, smaller notes, this is okay. But to create something new in the music of Bach, which is not standing there, and to make only effect. This is of course not so tasty. I have to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, I understand your side.
But bellow shake, I have to say, I used it also in some pieces from Schubert.
Hmm.
Recently, I played a lot of Schubert in this year, and also in my last project was together with the opera singers, and I played with the Boss Kovhus together. At first, Winterreise.
Hmm.
How is the English translations? Winter traveling by Schubert.
A
I
winter
don't know.
journey, but I think it
Winter
stays
journey. Yeah.
winterize. Yeah, I think so.
Winterreise. Yeah. I did a Winterreise with him, and after it, we did a Heine Lieder. And now, before a month ago, we played a Schöne Müllerin together.
Hmm.
And it's a cycle with 20 songs. And in the structure of Schubert, sometimes there are few bars that the same chord repeated with the left and the right hand for maybe, I don't know, 8 or 16 times. And
Hmm.
on that kind of chord, I would maybe use a bellow shake to create this sound that has how to say something colorful, like C. Because if we don't play it like this, if we play it only with the hand, maybe there is a possibility to be too dry. And this
Mm.
is my feeling when I play the music for piano, that accordion is in position so often to be too dry for the sound
Hmm.
of piano, because of course we don't have any pedal, and after we uh, have our fingers off the buttons, the sound is gone. So to create this some kind of background sound, or something that is staying there, bellow shake is actually a really cool and good opportunity. But of course, not changing the score at all, only to create this echo.
Yeah, you kind of need to
Yeah.
artificially create this decaying sound of a piano because otherwise it's just like an organ, it stays there. And
Yes.
but
Yes.
yeah, I think, I've heard many times pieces that I also wanted to play, and I think differently about it. And it's not that one way is right, the other way is wrong, because if you really want to play it authentically, you need to play on the piano, the piece.
Yes. On
So
hammerklavier.
exactly. So I believe in the end, as long as you do something that you feel to be true and you find it that it works and you like it and you believe in it, I think then it
Yeah.
makes absolutely sense to do anything, even if, somebody might say, oh, it's maybe not the same, or oh, I didn't like that. I mean, as
Yeah.
long as it there is a why to why you're
Yeah.
doing that, and not
Yeah.
simply, oh, I'm playing an accordion, look at what cool effects I can do with it.
Yes, yes. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I'm feeling also about it. If you are honest in your heart and you're sure what are that you are doing this because of your heart, because of feeling of loving this piece, it's gonna create something authentically, and the people are gonna recognize it. The same is with the pictures of an exhibition, and all the orchestrations in Ravel, and everybody who did it, they did it because they loved this music. They were so impressed from this music, and that was the reason that it works. Also with orchestra. I mean, he didn't wrote it for the orchestra, but it works really, really fine. So I think this is the actually the theme, that what are we trying to show with our playing? Are we showing the love that we found in the music, the honestly the music, or we are showing something that we can do with our
Mm.
techniques and instrument and something? And when the position is right on the first place and on the second place and on all other places, then the possibility that the truth is gonna shine is a good one.
Yeah, no, that's very important what you just said. I think it's, do you put yourself as an artist at the service of the music, or are you using the music to service yourself and quote unquote show off, on a stage and kind of be cool, look what I can do,
Ab-
nothing wrong with that, but just
yes,
so that
yes, yes.
everyone is clear on what we're doing on stage.
Absolutely, absolutely in service of the music. Maybe if I would play piano and compose like Beethoven or like Mozart, maybe I could feel something different. But I'm not. So I'm totally in service of the music, like interpret, and of course everything that I'm
Mhm.
doing, I'm trying to do the best for the music. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that's the artist's way in the end, Um, yeah, no, definitely. Oh, that's very interesting. And going from all of these very different projects, growing from solo to orchestral, we are also going to talk about your upcoming world premiere. It's a piece written by Gabriele Proy. It's a
Yes.
world premiere. I think I read somewhere the name, but let's talk about this collaboration. How did it begin?
Yes.
Where are you going to perform it? And yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. This is also a nice story. I met Gabriele Proy in the years that I was playing with Anna Topalovic in duo
Hmm.
Arcord. We played together for many years, and in our repertoire we played a lot of classical pieces, but we played also contemporary music, and we got lucky to play 14 premieres. So we got 14 pieces that were written for duo Arcord, and we made the premieres. This was also the story with Gabriele Proy. Anna had a longer friendship with Gabriele Proy because before our duo she was playing pieces from her. But for me, this was the first time meeting Gabriele. Gabriele is a famous Austrian composer, and her last piece were premiered in occasion of how was it, 80 years for Austria after the independency, and this was
Hmm.
ordered by the president of Austria, and this was a string quartet that she wrote the last piece.
Hmm.
On this year, she is 60 years old, and her wish was to write accordion concert for her 60th birthday. So this beautiful occasion, and also to write one accordion concert. My first piece that I played from her was a duo named Thorium, and she's composing in a way you could compare it in the way with the music from Arvo Pärt. It is something that is totally tonal music,
Hmm.
but some kind of meditation and finding circles in the way of the hearing it in repeating. This is the kind like a spiral that she's using for the composing in every pieces of her. Yeah, she did
Hmm.
also a lot of pieces for the orchestra and a lot of pieces for the choir, and she's actually coming from a guitar. She's a
Mm.
guitar teacher. She plays guitar, and this kind of sound that remains and that not have to change everything in the next note, but to use to go inside of you and to let you think about it and to let you feel it in the way like when you are sitting in front of an ocean and you just close your eyes and try to anticipate everything around you and to feel everything around you. This is the kind of feeling in her music. The second piece that I premiered was a accordion solo piece called Rosarium.
Mhm.
Her idea for accordion concert is auxin. She's connecting every pieces with some chemical elements, and in this time auxin is a hormone. This is maybe the composer should explain the
Mhm.
inspiration, and it's gonna be of course more explained after the premiere what is meant with the auxin. But what I know until now is that she's making it for the accordion with orchestra. The strings are there. From the woodwinds, there is only einfache Besetzung is on German. So they are playing
Uh,
only one for per
mhm.
section,
Mhm.
and
So
from
it's
the
a
wind,
sinfonietta almost.
yes, and we have also
Mhm.
a horn.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's this is the completely. So I didn't look at the score. She's composing. We had a conversation today. So accordion part is done, but she's making now the orchestrations. So she
Mhm.
gonna send me the score first when the orchestration is done. So I didn't saw anything. The premiere is on the 27th of September, and we are
Mhm.
playing it in Tulln. This is a really beautiful town on the Danube in Lower Austria, maybe 1 hour from Vienna, maybe a little bit less, with the symphony orchestra from Tulln. The name is the Jugend Symphony Orchestra Tulln, and the conductor is Hans-Peter Mansa.
Mhm.
On the same evening, the orchestra is gonna play the symphony from Haydn. The Londoner Symphony is gonna be, and this is not only accordion concert that I'm playing there. I mean, accordion concert, yes, but I play also one piano concert. and it's gonna be the
Okay.
second piano concert from Shostakovich. So
Wow.
we
Okay.
there is a 50 years anniversary from Shostakovich dead, and this concert I had a long time that I wanted to play it. And now it's the first opportunity that it showed, and I get lucky to play it. I'm really looking forward. So now I'm really have a lot of to practice.
Yeah. Wow. That's quite the concert. I think it's well very rare, if not unique, to have that. And then, as far as I'm aware, nobody played Shostakovich piano concerto, right? With a accordion with an orchestra, as far as I know.
As far as I know, of course, but Russia is so huge, and I could imagine that in Russia there are some accordion players that did it.
Could be. Could be. Okay. No, that's really interesting. I will link all of the information in the description of this episode and
Thank you.
with your website, with the link to the concert, to the tickets. So, dear listeners, if you're in Vienna, near to Vienna, sorry, near to Tulln, in Tulln, or anywhere nearby, just come and listen to this unique concert and say hi to Nikola afterwards. But yeah, until I think until you wait for the score of a new premiere of a new concerto, you still have stuff to do with Shostakovich.
Yes, yes, I'm really stuck with him. This is really
Hmm.
beautiful music, really beautiful music. He did it. He wrote it for his son, for Maxim. Maxim
Hmm.
played it premiere, but on the first place, Shostakovich thought that that piece is maybe not so artistically on the high quality like other pieces from him. But after it, he fell in love with the piece and he played it himself on the concerts. So there is also
Hmm.
recording when the Shostakovich in person played this concert with orchestra. Really beautiful and something like a story, like a kid's story, I would say, like a
Okay.
story for
Hmm.
kids. I could imagine something like that.
Well, luckily for us, he was not like who was it? I think it was Janacek that wrote his piano sonata, and he didn't like the last movement, threw it into a river in Vienna or somewhere, and it got completely lost and destroyed. Of course. So luckily for us, Shostakovich was not as crazy as Janacek from that point of view.
But
Um,
Janacek, we played Janacek with Anna together. There is a Pochatka
mhm.
from Janacek for cello and piano, and this is possible with accordion, and this is also really, really beautiful
Fairy
piece from
tale, yeah,
Janacek.
it's a very
Fairy
nice
tale, yeah.
piece.
Yes,
Yes, yes,
yes. Did you play it with
yeah.
accordion? Yes,
No, no, not yet. I mean, I have a duo with a cellist, but we
yes.
see ourselves very, very rarely. I think last time we played 7 years ago, 8 years ago, maybe. Yeah, I mean, we kind of move a lot. He's all over the world, and I'm now
Yeah,
here in Europe, moving also, but maybe at
yeah.
some point we will play it. No, but I know that it's a really, really nice piece to play.
Really
So,
beautiful.
also
Yeah.
for the listeners, if you never heard it or never played it, and you're looking for works with cello, try it. It's really
Yes.
worth it. Nicola, tell me what other projects, aside from this world premiere coming up, are you looking forward to in the second half of 2025?
Yes, thank you. Well, there is a lot of chamber music. As I said, I played a long time with Anna in duo with
Hmm.
cello, and after we decided to stop playing with duo harpsichord, I actually played with a other cellist actually without stopping playing with cello till now. So I would say maybe the last 8 years, at least 8 years, I'm playing duo with cellist. And
Hmm.
this is the Valentin Erben. The Valentin Erben is the famous cellist from the Albanberg quartet. And on this year, I got also one opportunity to play with one young cellist from Kärnten. His name is Jeremias Friedl, and he's really, really one such a beautiful musician. He's really fantastic player. We played together in Germany before a month ago. In Mainz Music Festival, and on the repertoire was also Schubert Arpeggione Sonata. And
Uh-huh.
also never heard that someone played it with accordion, and it is possible, and it's really really beautiful. So also interesting idea to play for some young accordionists to try arpeggione sonata. And on the next period for the next concerts, I gonna play with my wife together. We play with the guitar and accordion in November, and also in October we play in the near of Vienna, in the Langenzenzdorf, and also in Leobendorf. The second
Mhm.
concert is going to be together with Otto Brussati. He's going to read some beautiful texts from Rilke, because it is about 150th anniversary of Rilke and poetry from Rilke. And on the first concert, I'm going to play also pictures of an exhibition from Mussorgsky, and in other part we play with guitar and accordion. And this is also really nice combination. I never played with guitar before I met my wife, and in the last 2 years we played together. There is also I tried this kind of combination with Anna. The first time she wanted to play a cello concerto, a concerto from Haydn, and
Mhm.
I took the role of the orchestra, and she was playing the cello part, and it was really interesting, because with accordion you can make such crazy colors, from strings to the woods to the everything, to really make it interesting and near the orchestra. But for the other side, you're not so huge like an orchestra, so it is really colorful chamber music, and for the soloist, it's also really nice to hear all the stuffs from orchestra, but in 2 meters from them, from our chamber colleague. So we make the same decision also with the guitar. We tried to play Rodrigo's guitar concertos. He has
Mhm.
two guitar concertos, and also the second one was really interesting, because it was inspired from the Baroque music from Caspar Sanz, and this is also really nice, because you know that the Baroque music is, of course, perfectly well for accordion. And when you play with guitar, of course, the balance is the question. And it is also really interesting to try to find a new kind of colors in this lower dynamic, because of course you cannot play so loud like with a string quartet, or maybe with a saxophone quartet, but it's really beautiful. These combinations of colors with different instruments is so nice, and I really love to play the chamber music, and some solo concerts also there. This is the next period. I hope that we're gonna repeat also the Schöne Müllerin from Schubert with the
Mhm.
Boskophuss, and yes, also one nice project that happened this year was with a other opera singer. This is from Vienna Volksoper. Her name is Johanna Arro. She's actually from France, and we played together some French music. I had from my early childhood touch with the folks music, actually with my father, and this is why I think
Mhm.
until now I play really with a lot of heart with singers, all kind of
Mhm.
music genres, and to be there behind the singer, to breathe together the music with him. This is something special that I had really for from early childhood. I played every time with my father. And even on when I was studying in Vienna, I played this Balkan music with him together, and a
Mhm.
lot of repertoire. So I think if someone has opportunity to try or to learn or to enjoy this music, it's only gonna reach his musical experience, and to bring him maybe some new kind of vitamins for the classical music.
Yeah, somehow, for me, I think I collaborated maybe once or twice, no, two times with different singers. Somehow, vocal music, I don't know, it's not in my veins, it's not in my heart. I think I should give it a bigger chance and try stuff out. I mean, I played pieces where I was the one reciting or doing some sounds or speaking when I was playing, but not with singers. I should. as you mentioned, probably this experience that I'm lacking would enrich my musical background and horizon. Who knows? But you have really a super active artistic life, and I will link your website. So the listeners, you can go and check out Nikola's website where you will find all of this information as well as albums, upcoming concerts. You can contact him there via email. Where can people find you on the web, on social media or on streaming platforms?
Yes, I'm using it. I think maybe more Instagram than Facebook, but I try to use it really small because it's something that really can
Makes
take a
sense.
lot of can take a lot of time, a lot of practicing time. And yes, all of the informations are there on the Spotify. All of the albums I made. This is not going to be the first accordion concert. I recorded also one accordion concert from Austrian composer before some years ago. This was from Johanna Doderer. The name is Ocean, and we recorded it in Tyrol, in Innsbruck. And this recording is also on Spotify. And also the whole album with the chamber music from Johanna Doderer, also a famous Austrian composer. Yes, everything is online. Everything is on the website, on Spotify, Instagram, and I would like to see some accordion lovers in the next concerts. And it would be really nice if someone gonna listen this music and maybe also like it.
Great, Nikola. Thanks a lot for this very interesting and very inspiring conversation. I wish you best of luck, lots of inspiration, and lots of enjoyment on stage.
Thank you a lot, dear Gennady, for inviting me to this beautiful podcast. And we have to thank, of course, again to the beautiful Dr. Herbert Scheibenreif, and to say just that my first CD that I ever heard, and the first CD with the accordion music, I bought it in Italy in the Castle Fidardo, and the guy that sold me that CD was the Herbert Scheibenreif. This was the first meeting with Herbert before long years ago. Actually, before I even came to the Austria, and he
Hmm.
made also we made some concerts together, and really to have him in the accordion world is so priceless. It's so beautiful that we have some, I would say, on the German Schatz in the German
A treasure,
accordion world.
a
Yeah, a
real
treasure,
treasure.
a
Yes,
real treasure. Yeah.
absolutely.
Thank you, dear
Absolutely.
Gennady. And I would like to meet you anytime if you're visiting Vienna, if you're driving through, please contact me and let's have a touch. Let's have a drink, coffee, or something on the Balkan way. Would
Likewise,
be a
if you
pleasure.
happen to pass by through Vorarlberg, Bludenz, Feldkirch, or nearby, just
Yeah.
give me a call and we'll make this happen. Thanks again,
Thank you
Nikola.
a lot. Thank you a lot. All the best.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Everything Accordion podcast. I hope you found the stories and the insights in this episode as interesting as I did. If you liked what you heard, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, rate and review the podcast on the platform where you're listening. You can also join the Discord community as well as support the podcast on Patreon. Thanks again for being here, and see you in the next episode.